Hello, this is Angela from Natural Living Alchemy. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making something called flying ointment. Now, historically, flying ointments are salves containing psychoactive ingredients that can cause hallucinations and a sense of flying. But don't worry, this is less about levitation and really it's just more about supporting your meditative journeys. So our recipe that I'm going to be using today is a much milder version than what our ancestors used to use, and it comes from the book Spirited Kitchen: Recipes and Rituals for the Wheel of the Year. Now, this is an amazing book that I definitely recommend to anybody just wanting to deepen their own personal rituals throughout the year, just following that wheel. You would use something like a flying ointment during your personal ceremonies, your trance journeys, and your rituals, and they have been used traditionally by witches who practiced European witchcraft dating all the way back to the 16th century. At least that's when it was first recorded. Now, when we think of the word witch, oftentimes what comes to mind is a woman flying on a broomstick, signifying that witches can fly. But what if these flights were actually more astral journeys and trance meditations than actually women flying on broomsticks? What if it was just more of a flight of spirit into another realm of existence, not a person actually taking flight? Before we get to sharing this recipe, I just want to invite you to check the description box below this video. And in there, you're going to find a link to the full written blog article. And in there, it's just going to go into more information about flying ointments, how they've been used, as well as a list of some other herbs that you could choose from. Now, I will say that some of the herbs that have been found traditionally in flying ointments are considered poisonous or baneful herbs. And these would be our belladonna and our mandrake root. Now, I'm just going to say, if you are new to using plants in that way, I am just going to ask you to stick to the one suggested first, and then feel free to explore. You just want to know how these plants are actually going to be affecting your psyche. And we just want to start with the gentler ones. We don't need to try to prove anything by jumping right into those ones that are considered maybe more baneful than others. Now, I just want you to keep in mind, I am not a doctor. Absolutely nothing what is on this channel is considered medical advice. It is here for education, entertainment purposes only. And it's up to you to check with your healthcare professionals before following anything that I say. Before I put this all together, let's just go over some of the different plants that you could use and what their magical correspondences and properties would be. Now, we could use hyssop. Hyssop is a cleansing herb, and it can be used to get rid of a person or space of unwanted or undesirable psychic energies. You could choose lavender. Lavender can be used for psychic and visionary trance work, just strengthening the intuition. Now, lavender is used as an amplifier, and it balances by both calming and energizing, and it is a plant used for spiritual attunement. Mugwort has been used for prophetic dreams and divination, as well as it's a protection herb. It has been known to awaken the psychic eye and help in dream work. Parsley, a soothing helper when working with the deceased. Now, have you ever noticed that parsley is used as a garnish? Now, this is because of the ancient custom of offering to the deceased, and that was actually a way to show gratitude for all of the lives sacrificed to the meal. And it's still somewhat sticking around today. Poplar buds, those are used for faith, heart healing, and visions. Rose, it helps soothe the inner child, offers protection, and thwarts in the evil eye. You can use sage for purification, grounding, and centering purposes. You can use thyme for clarity, spiritual visions, and the prevention of nightmares, as thyme is a protection herb. Valerian can be used for different visionary trance work, and it's also been known to be a banishing herb. Valerian has been used for divination as well as communication with spirits, ancestors, and otherworldly entities. And it is also used as protection and purification. And lastly, you could also choose some yarrow, which is for protection, clear perception, divination, and intuition. And yarrow actually intensifies the work of the other herbs as it's an amplifier. So those are just some of the herbs that you can use. However, just know, if you are feeling intuitively called to use a certain herb that is not in any of the lists that I've been giving you, follow that intuition. That plant is probably wanting to work with you in some way. And this type of meditation work is one way that we could do that. To make this flying ointment, you're first going to need to make an infused oil with all of those plant allies that you've chosen. So the amount that you're going to need to make this one is going to be 4 teaspoons of your preferred combination of herb in 3 tablespoons of a neutral oil. Now, if you were going to be using like the mason jar method or even the double boiler, I would probably just make a larger amount. Okay. But all you need is the 3 tablespoons. You could also use something like an animal fat, like a lard or a tallow, which is how our ancestors used to do it. But whatever you want to use is fine. Then you're also going to require 2 to 3 teaspoons of beeswax. So we're just going to start by putting our already infused oil in a little double boiler. Or I have this little melting pot that I make into a double boiler, and then we're just going to add our beeswax. I have water simmering on the stove, and we're just going to allow this to come up, melt together. I don't want any of the oil boiling. I just want everything to get nicely mixed in, and then I'll show you what we do next. So everything is all just nicely melted together. So all you're going to do is now you could add 4 to 6 drops of maybe a floral essential oil that you want to use. Maybe even an essential oil of one of the plants that I had listed. I don't have any of those essential oils currently, so we're not going to, but you could definitely add that. But oh my gosh, this on its own smelled so good with all of those different herbs in it. So you just want to pour it carefully into some of these small tins. Okay, so I am just going to allow these to just cool. I like to cool everything in the refrigerator. So I'm just going to throw those in until they are completely solid and they will be ready to use. So the effects from a flying ointment can last 4 to 6 hours. So just be cautious and responsible when you're going to use this ointment. So basically, don't slather yourself in it and then just drive your car. You don't necessarily know what relaxation effects are going to be happening. Now, if you experience any adverse reactions or skin irritations, just wash the area immediately with soap and water. Potentially, you've reacted to one of the different herbs that are in there. Okay. We don't want something that's going to create adverse effects. So, if that's the case, potentially you just need to change your herbs up a little bit. The shelf life is going to be 1 year. Now, be mindful of using this flying ointment with alcohol, cannabis, or antidepressants, as you may experience increased drowsiness. And one other thing that you can do, and I'm going to link in the description box below this video a tutorial on how to do it. You can infuse your flying ointment with an intention, and that can just bring you into a deeper level of whatever trance work you're wanting to use this for. Comment down below and let me know, what herbs did you use? I would love to hear about it. What combination was just calling your name? And be sure to come back next week because I'm going to be sharing another fermentation recipe. And this time we are going to be featuring the humble onion. Don't forget to hit the like button if you've liked this video and share it with anybody who you think might enjoy it. Consider subscribing to the channel so that we can spend more time together and that you don't miss future videos. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram, so be sure to connect with me over there as well. But I just want to say thanks for stopping by today, and I'll see you next time.